Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time, and I do want to disclose that this Sat Chat was filmed in advance, about a month ago. I am on vacation this week, and I decided I would film a Sat Chat while I was away because I know I probably wouldn't be able to get it done right before I left. You know how that week before vacation is? You are just slammed, and you are the most productive person you've ever seen. I didn't want to add one more thing to that week. So I decided I would film this in advance because I had kind of a fun idea that I thought would be nice to put out there into the ether. So I'm Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, maybe not, I don't know, I should probably change my name. But and this is Sat Chat. It's not a tutorial, it is just a weekly chit chat video that I post every Saturday morning. And this one actually has a topic, and the topic is it too late? Is it too late? Have you ever been scrolling on Instagram, or maybe in an art gallery, or looking on Pinterest? Have you ever seen art that is so beautiful? Maybe it was made by somebody that was younger. And have you ever thought, it's too late, I'll never get that good? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever thought that? Have you ever had that feeling where you see like a prodigy, you see somebody from, I follow a lot of art accounts on Instagram, and some of these young people are so good. It's like you can tell they just have that 1,000 hours of training already. They are so precise, and their work is just glowing with skill and light and presence, and you just wonder, gee, is it too late? Is it too late? Did I miss my chance? And I want to talk about that today because I think that's something that most of us ask ourselves from time to time. It's like, did I miss out? Did I miss the boat? Should I have been working on my art instead of studying whatever I studied in college, instead of doing this or doing that? And we wonder, is there time? Do we have time to get as good as we want to get? And the first thing I'm going to say is, no, it's not too late. Start now. Pick up your pencil, pick up your paper. You don't need to have a lot of money. You can learn more just with graphite, charcoal, and paper than with any expensive art supply, and just start drawing. Just start expressing yourself. Learn everything you can learn. You are in the best time in the universe, in the history of all time, to be able to get an art education. And we've got books, we've got free videos on YouTube, we have paid courses. There is the resources out there. Go to your library, draw from life. You can find in-person classes even. You can sign up for a class in your community, an adult ed class, a local artist teaching a studio class. You can find resources now easier than ever before. I mean, there might have been more in-person classes before the internet and before COVID, but you can find a class. You can teach yourself, and you can get good, and it is not too late. And the other thing I want to bring up is none of us know how much time we have left. We don't know how much gas is left in the tank, so to speak. So seize the day. Pick up your supplies now and start drawing. I did make some notes. I just want to look at them really quickly because I always I start talking and then I go off on a million tangents, and I forget what I was going to talk about. And don't worry about being as good as other people. Artists are unique. We all have our own voice. We as people have our own sense of aesthetics. We have our own sense of what's important. We have our own opinions. We have our own lived experiences. And just think, if you are older, you've had more lived experiences than the 18-year-old that's a prodigy. If that person doesn't keep leveling up at that rate, they may crash and realize they don't even know why they were doing it. A lot of times when you have people that are really good, really young, they have not been internally motivated. They've been externally motivated. It's been their teachers and their parents, and they've had society building this framework for them to study art and pushing them that when they don't have those trainers anymore and they're left to their own devices, they may flounder, or they may not even like doing it. They may have just done it because it was expected of them. Think of all child athletes and child musicians that are pushed and pushed and pushed and finally break. So it may be a blessing that you're coming to this at an older age where you've had these lived experiences where you actually have something to say. There's nothing more disheartening than to have all this talent but have nothing to say. Like, it's like a person that can play the piano absolutely perfectly, but they don't have a song in their heart. They can go through the motions and they can make it and they can do it and they can copy anything, but they have nothing to say. And as we get older, we develop more knowledge of the world, and we have more things to say, where you may not even be able to create something that's in your mind's eye that says that is what you want, but you have a story to tell and you have something to say, and you can learn the skills to tell that story. You cannot learn those experiences without living those experiences, and you have lived the experiences, so you have that within you to express into the world. And nobody is going to paint just like you, because nobody has lived just like you. Nobody's had the experiences that you have experienced, and nobody is going to have the same song and the same story to tell that you do. So embrace that and just lean in and express it, regardless whether it looks how you envisioned to begin with, or if it looks like anything you want to share at all. There's no law in the world that says you have to share your art to be an artist. You don't. You can make some art and put it in a box under your bed. You can keep it in a sketchbook. You can hang it in your house and not let anybody in to see it. It's totally up to you. But I think once you get comfortable in your own skin and you get comfortable with the artwork that you produce, you will want to share it, because if you have that story to tell, you're not going to be able to help yourself. You're going to get it out there and you're going to want to tell people. And even if your story to tell is, look at this beautiful flower, look at my beautiful life, I am so happy and I want to share it with you. That's just as important as somebody else might have to say. We all have our own voice and we all have our own style. And it's important to share that with the world, I think. And do you want to make it a living? Are you asking yourself, is it too late to be an artist, or is it too late to make a living with your art? And I would have to say no. It's no to both of those answers, but you may want to ask yourself, why do you want to make a living at your art? If you're someone who loves art and you love painting, and you're maybe thinking about retiring from your career, your day job, and you're thinking, maybe I would like to be an artist. Can I be an artist? Absolutely, you can be an artist. Can I make a living from my art? You can make a living from your art, but ask yourself, do you really want to? Do you need to? Is that going to make you want to paint more, or is that going to turn something you love into a job? And that might not be right for you. It might be perfect for you. Who can say? I have my retirement fantasy is being an illustrator. But the more and more, more realistically I look into that, I'm thinking, I don't think that's what I want. I love the romantic idea. I call it my Bob Newhart fantasy, which is not, it probably sounds really creepy, but it's not. My Bob Newhart fantasy is that one day my husband and I buy an inn, maybe in Maine, maybe in Vermont, I don't know, probably on the coast. We buy a coastal inn, and I don't have to busy myself with the day-to-day running of the inn. No, I'm sitting in the back of my studio and I'm painting all day, like Bob Newhart wrote his books all day. And an interesting cast of characters comes over every day that I interact with, so I've got that social, that I feed my social batteries because I'm an extrovert, and then I retire and I do my painting, and maybe I teach a class here and there, but that's my retirement fantasy. I call it the Bob Newhart fantasy because the show Newhart, Bob was the writer and Joanna ran the show, ran the inn. So my husband would be running the inn. I don't not think he wants to run an inn in his retirement, so this fantasy is deeply flawed. But yes, I am in the background painting and interacting with all of the wacky characters that come and patronize my inn, and my lazy housekeeper and all those wacky folks. So that's what I think my retirement's going to be like. Or I have a very secluded studio on a pond somewhere, and I'm so in demand that I could just draw when I feel like it, and send it off to my agent, and they would deal with the rest. Yeah, so basically it deals with me drawing and not having to do with any of the business aspects of anything. So probably what's going to happen is I'll just draw when I feel like drawing, what I feel like drawing, and not make any money off of it, and that's fine too, honestly. But there's that little seed inside of me that I crave the external validation. I think that's probably why I'm a YouTuber. That's probably why I post on Instagram. Do I think it's great? No, I think it's probably one of my least attractive qualities. I think it's probably a negative quality of my personality, is that I seek that external validation. And if that's your only motive for wanting to be an artist, I would deeply question it, because I don't think it's going to be fulfilling. I love sharing art. I love teaching. I love making beautiful images, and I do love the validation from that. And I'm not proud to say it, but I will say it because I think that you got to own it. You got to own how you are and own your truth. But But if that was it, if that was the only reason I posted, then that would be very shallow and unfulfilling. I love getting those comments that are like, I was in a really dark place and I watched your video and I feel so much better. I never thought I could paint, but I picked up a brush and it really brought me out of this dark place. Or I lost my spouse and I didn't know what to do, and I found one of your videos and I started painting and now my life has meaning again. It's those comments that are really what's important, and they push me forward and they keep me posting. Where if you're only in it for the likes and the subscribers and the views, the minute those drop, you're going to be you're going to be gone. You're going to just, it's not going to be worth it for you anymore. If that was the case with me, I would have quit, back in 2017 when, you know, my views and everything started to decline. It happens when you're online for any amount of time. You're probably, you may go up for a while, but generally you plateau and then you start to decline. That's just how it goes. Maybe I'll swing back up again. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I feel like I have a really good community here and I'm not that concerned with being, you know, the next big thing, the next flash in the pan, because the stuff that's really popular right now is just not what I do, and that's fine. I'm not into the short format videos. Oh, and this is funny. I just read this. Well, of course this is a month ago, but I read this newsletter called Tube Filter. It's a website that reports on the goings on YouTube and their online media. And apparently YouTube executives are dismayed that that watch time is down and viewers are going for short form media over long form media. And I'm like, you're dismayed? You basically pushed every YouTube creator into making YouTube shorts because you weren't showing their videos otherwise. How can you be dismayed? You're dismayed that you tried to go and steal views from Instagram and TikTok and those platforms that were doing the short form video because you couldn't stand, like a dog with a bone looking at its reflection in the water, you couldn't stand that that dog had a bone too, and you wanted to take their bone and have your bone, but you ended up dropping your bone in the water because you're so greedy and you went after the other bone. So YouTube executives are dismayed that people are watching the short form videos that you basically told us we better make, or our channels are not going to get promoted, and now you're dismayed that nobody's watching the longer videos anymore and everyone wants the shorter videos now and aren't watching YouTube for as long. You're dismayed? Really sounds like you knew exactly what you were doing, and this is kind of the expected outcome. That just made me, I don't know, it didn't really make me mad. It kind of made me like, well, it kind of serves you right. You know, you're telling all the creators that if you want your videos to be shown, you need to make shorts. And even going as far as to, you know, pay people to make shorts. Like there's a certain pool of money that's divided up. I think I made 6 cents last month. It's some big money, baby. And it pushed people to do the shorts because they couldn't stand that TikTok was growing so fast and making so much money on those short form videos. It's a land grab. It's just like when Temu sends out their, they will sell products to new customers for well below what it costs to make them because they want to acquire those customers. YouTube wants to acquire that TikTok audience by putting short form content on there, but they end up training their current audience to watch the short form content rather than the long form content. That's why I tried some shorts, but I really kind of stopped making them because it's like, do I want to train my audience to have a shorter attention span? Do I want my audience to think that something that you really need to put time into and that you really need to cultivate and work at and is worth working at needs to be wrapped up in a 45-second video? I don't think that's the audience I want to cultivate. I want to cultivate an audience that is thoughtful, that knows that if you want to make a painting, you need to learn how to paint and you need to put the time in. And if you do put the time in, you can learn it. If you see something done in 30 seconds and you try to do it and it's a big mess, are you going to want to try it again? You're going to feel disappointed that you just wasted these supplies, and then you're going to feel mad at that creator for making you think that you could do something like that in 30 seconds, and then you're probably on to the next thing because your attention spans have been hijacked and made shorter by all of these companies that want you to watch short form content so they can just show video after video after video and prove that they've got this huge audience and sell your attention to advertisers. And that's what it's all boils down to. It just, how can we get advertisers to pay? How can we sell our customers' attention to them. And that's what it's about here on these platforms. So wow, really, you're dismayed, YouTube, that people are watching short form content after you basically told your creators that if you want to be seen on our platform, you have to make it? I mean, wow, really, I should be a YouTube executive because I could have told you that was going to happen for free. I don't have a MBA and I could have told you that. So that's a little tirade to take this, is it too late? But you know, to wrap it up, no, it's not too late. You can absolutely become an artist. You just got to put the pencil to paper and you can get good fast. And actually, I think that as adults, we can get faster quicker because we're more clear on our objectives and our motivations. I think when you get to a point in your life where you're thinking, I may have more behind me than I have ahead of me, that really makes you clarify your motivation. If you know, I mean, none of us know how much time we have left. But when you're a teenager, you think you're going to live forever. So what's it matter if I spend time practicing this or I go out with my friends? And you know what? Hey, young people got to live their young people lives. I think that when you're young and healthy, you should travel, you should have fun, you should do what you want to do, you should try all the things and, you know, live your best life. But I also think into your middle age and your golden years, you should also live your best life because none of us know. I know people my age that are having heart attacks and, you know, it only takes one. It only takes one. And so if it's important to you, you'll make it happen. And you absolutely can. You can put in 10 hours a day and get there quicker than someone that can put in 1 hour a day. You just got to do it and just make it a habit. And it's the things you do every day that lead to lasting results. It's the things that, it's not getting a gym membership and going to the gym 3 times a week that's going to be as sustainable as putting on your sneakers every morning, grabbing your dog and going for a walk every single day. That walk every day is going to build those habits and it's going to, I mean, you'd eventually plateau if you don't change it up and you do the same thing every day, but that is going to be a longevity habit. That's going to be something that you can do every day and you're more likely to stick to because you don't have to actually get in your car and drive to the gym and then decide what machines am I going to use, then decide this and then decide that, and then spend a bunch of extra time because you have to drive back and forth. By having something simple like I'm going to sit down and I'm going to pull up my watercolors and I'm going to sketch, or I'm going to sit down, I'm going to grab my pencil, my sketchbook, sit outside and I'm going to sketch. You're going to do those things with less friction, less decisions, and do them every day and they become habits. And then that's where you grow. That's where you get good. That's where all of those brush miles come in. It's just like anything. It's the things you do every day that add up and make your life what it is. So think about how you spend your day. Think about how you are spending your time in the day. Is there time you're spending that you're not proud of that you would like to redirect and turn into a new habit? Maybe you have a bad habit that you'd like to turn into a good habit. Maybe the watching the TV after dinner is a bad habit that you would like to turn into sketching every night after dinner. Maybe it is putting your sketchbook on the coffee table. So you sit down and while the TV's on, you're sketching something. You know, you're pulling yourself out of a bad habit and you're turning it into a good habit without much effort at all. So no, it's not too late. I know this video is longer than it needs to be. Sat chats are usually around 27, 28 minutes. And I know you guys are drinking your coffee and washing dishes and getting ready for your weekend. And I don't want to leave you in the lurch with a short video, but I really don't have much to say on that topic. And hopefully, if this resonates with you and you've had those thoughts like, is it too late? Am I ever going to get as good as I want to get? Am I ever going to be as good as them? You know, first of all, stop comparing. You are not them. They are not you. You all have your own special abilities and your own special qualities, and the things that make you you. The things that light you up are different than the things that light them up. The things that inspire you are different than the things that inspire them. The things you're passionate about are not what they're passionate about, and that is wonderful because we all have our own unique flavor to put out into the world. And put it out there. Seize the day and make some art. Make your life the life you want to live. And that's why I tell my kids, I said, you have got to design the life that you want to live. And, you know, I'm here to support them to do it. I'm here to support you and encourage you to make the most of every day. And, yeah, find those little smackrels of time that you can harness and create within, because that's what we got, right? You might have a busy day, but you might have 15 minutes that you can, you can grab that sketchbook and go, or you can add a few rows into that crocheted Afghan, or you can move some pages, move some pictures around on a scrapbook page. We all have our own arts that we participate in, and they're all worthwhile. If you enjoy them, it's worth it. That's all the arts and crafts. Really, that should be the point of arts and crafts. If you enjoy it, then it's good. If you don't enjoy it, if you're doing it out of obligation or because you bought the supplies and now you're ashamed to own the supplies without using them, those are the wrong reasons. The right reasons are because you enjoy it, and it doesn't have to be more complex than that if you don't want it to be. But I really, honestly, I don't have more to say about this topic. So I hope you're having a wonderful week. I may not be that active in the comments down below, but I do hope you chat amongst yourselves, and I will try to pop in there when I can. And then we'll see you next week for a regular scheduled Sat Chat. Thank you so much for being here in the community. I appreciate you. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.